any formula around, darling. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. All right, thanks.
We unfortunately are not. We have a benevolence program, but it is for our members. Well, like I said, if it's anything like that, our benevolence is for our members.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, we don't have any formula here for now, baby. No, we have a kitchen, but we don't have milk. We don't have time to do that because we don't have another senior citizen here, and we don't have nobody to do that, so you have to try to call another area.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, we're included in that, not because we want to be, but we've been struggling with a whole bunch of things since the Obama-Biden regime took over.
And I was wanting to see if there's any way you all could help with a can of baby formula.
We can, ma'am. Where do you live? Do you live in Charlotte?
Yes, I'm like 10 minutes from you all.
Okay, and what kind of formula are you using?
It's the Good Start.
Good Start. Yeah, that's fine, ma'am. If you come over here, we'll help you.
Christians and churches are responding after a woman went viral for calling churches asking for baby formula for her starving baby, and most of them turned her down. And what some of them are saying is absolutely wild. One church said what that woman is doing is evil and even compared it to witchcraft. He said this woman is a liar, she is indulging in trickery, she has the spirit of a witch, and if she comes near our church, she will be dealt with swiftly. This church, who also turned her down over the phone, said if a mother in need was at the doors of our church, raise your hand if you would help her. And when a majority of the people raised their hands, he said that's the only social experiment that I need. And this pastor of another church who also turned her down said that we are not obligated to help in a situation like this, and the only reason the mosque did is because they're obligated to by their faith. He said they get hundreds of scam calls and people wanting money, and they can't prove that she's actually in need.
Maybe this bitch is actually working for Islam and she's trying to really make Christians look bad, so people are like, oh, maybe I need to go to Islam and be Muslim or what the fuck ever.
Bro, you're a grown man with a Charlie Kirk portrait behind you. So I guess this take isn't that insane. Knowing that, I don't even think that this whole thing is about the churches itself. I think it's about the people that are running the churches. It's like they say, beware of prophets that come to you dressed in sheep's clothing. And yeah, the reality is that a majority of the Christian churches that she reached out to said no. But now, in order to cope with that reality, you have to place the blame on the religion of Islam. Again, I don't think this is about religion and about the churches and temples and mosques in general. I think you're upset that the person that was willing to help wasn't a Christian. FYI, it wasn't just the Muslim man that was willing to help. There was a lot of Catholic people that were willing to help as well. This entire video that you made is so cringy and it just screams Islamophobic. Maybe this social experiment will force people to look into the people that are running the churches.
I stand by what I say through and through. A church isn't a charity home. A church isn't a thrift store. A church isn't a foster home. They have things like that for those purposes. When we give tithes, when we give offerings, we give it to the kingdom of God for the purpose of God. When a church wants to spread out and spread the kingdom of God, when you're asking the church for something that has nothing to do with its purpose, you are basically mocking God, and you're basically mocking the purposes of pastors and prophets. When we want to travel around the world, we need resources, and that is why offerings and givings, they help. So you call them the church and asking them to feed your baby, you're basically mocking God, and that for me is disrespectful. You have no rights to be calling and then comparing Christians and comparing mosques. This is how war starts. This is how the devil, impacts himself in fights and things like this. Why are you doing that? It's rubbish.
The girl who's been calling different churches, asking for baby formula, and getting hung up on every single time. Well, turns out one of the places she called wasn't even a church, it was a mosque. And guess what they did? They immediately helped her. No questions, no judgment, just helped. Kind of like what Jesus would have done. But this pastor, oh, he did not like that. He got online, did a whole sermon saying, well, the Muslim faith is obligated to help. He literally said it's no surprise they dropped everything to help because that's what they're required to do. Then he said, in the Christian faith, we work on hope. I'm sorry. Hope? What does that even mean? You're telling me churches can't help people because they're too busy hoping? And apparently all the tithes and offerings, yeah, those aren't for feeding people. They're for hope. That's what he said. I was so shocked. I went to his profile to see more about his teachings, and of course, the whole account is private. Like, sir, you came online, said all that nonsense, and then hid your page? Be for real.